Hi everyone, welcome back to the Poppy Library. My name is Liz and this is KnitCast. Well, this is the second time I'm recording this video. It's dark in my office today. I don't know why. In my studio, it's dark. I don't get it. So hi, how are you? Welcome back. It is a beautiful spring day here in Austin, Texas. I am currently drinking a cup of coffee out of my beautiful ceramic mug made by Katie and Clay, a local artist here to Austin. And I love sharing other artists' work. I am also an artist myself. I work a 9 to 5 in hospitality. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So this is my drinking mug that I'm out of. If you so want to support her, I have plenty of her pieces. I did an altar workshop with her as well. Go support her. I have a link for her website down below. If not, you can just see me drink a wonderful coffee out of this. So welcome back. Like I said, my name is Liz, and if you're new to this channel, a little bit about myself. This channel is called the Poppy Library because I love to garden and I love poppies and I love to read. So therefore the library aspect of it. It is spring here in Austin. So that means the poppies are growing. We used to have this beautiful community garden plot close to Ladybird Lake, which is a river. It's a river, but we call it Ladybird Lake here in Austin, and it separates downtown from South Austin. And we had a beautiful garden plot at that community garden down there, and it just naturally grew poppies as tall as me around this time. And so it's a little sad that we don't have it anymore just due to location issues, but the wildflowers are popping up right now in Texas. So if you are in a cold climate somewhere, know that it's getting warm here. And so my knits, I don't really get to wear them. Now it's time for coolish knits. So I keep looking out my window, but out my window over here are bluebonnets that are about to, grow their flower. And bluebonnets are one of those wildflowers here. They grow every year in April, May to April, and they just explode. So it's wonderfully warm. Spring is here. Things are growing. The trees are growing back their leaves. All of the things. It's starting to look a little less dead and wintry and more beautiful and vibrant as the days go on. So anyway, this is a knitting channel where I talk about my knits and anything that might be going on in my life. I'm exploring with the format here, and I really want to start vlogging outside of the studio, but I also wanted to chat with you. So here we are. We're going to talk about knits. We're going to talk about my upcoming exploration project with knits. We're going to talk about what I've been reading. I love it when people share their books that they're reading and some new patterns. So join on in. What do people say? Get comfy, grab a cup of something or whatever. Yeah, just sit down and just listen to me chat to you in your living room. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about my exploration with my knits. So I am currently wearing the Spring Sorrel by Wool and Pine Designs. This is one of my first knits. And so my exploration project that I'm doing right now is re-knitting some of my beginner knits. Now, while that may seem like torture for some of you, I don't know, but I'm very curious to see how these knits have changed as my skills have changed. So the reason being, this beautiful Spring Sorrel is in my favorite color, my favorite very Frida blue, so much so that I painted my studio the same color. If I were to remove this canvas that I so delicately put behind me, I would just blend into the wall. So I love this color so much. When I first started knitting, I was not reading gauge about the pattern. In the pattern, I wasn't looking at the yarn weight, the recommended yarn, anything like that. I just really wanted to just knit the freaking thing because I was so excited. So a few things about this particular spring sorrel. It's tight. It was tight when I was done knitting it because instead of using the recommended DK weight yarn in the pattern, I used a fingering weight yarn because I like the color and I just wanted to do it. Should I have just held it double? Yes. Yes, I should have. However, I still like it. I like it a little more form-fitting. I love this pattern because it's made to flatter all different kind of body types depending on the way you knit it, whether you have negative ease or not. I love the negative ease aspect of it. I'm a busty girl, so anything that shows off my curves, I'm like very into just embracing that lately. So, sorry, I got interrupted. I thought I heard my dog yelp outside and I thought, shit, what's going on? Okay, anyway, I used a bit scratchy yarn and that was a learning lesson. It's so close to my neck. I do love how close it is to my neck, but it was scratchy. So all of these like tiny learning lessons that I learned while wearing this for the past 3 years made me think like I really want to knit it. I don't wear it as much as I used to because of those things, but I still do wear it sometimes. It's just so, it's really tight and I've grown, you know, okay? Like every woman, okay? So I want to reknit this. It's a very easy pattern. It goes by really fast. So I decided to reknit it and I want to do that with a few more patterns. You know, beginner knitters, we're very ambitious. We just want to knit the freaking thing. That's my personality. And so there's tons of really great patterns that I want to wear all the time, but I just don't because it fits so weird. So anyway, I'm reknitting this and it's going to be in a La Bien-Aimée Felix held double, which I know you're like, Liz, I thought you said DK weight. Trust me, I got gauge. We're fine. So it's Felix and Flora Morganite, which is the Felix La Bien-Aimée yarn, which by the way, don't you love the branding? I just love the branding. The Felix Flora Morganite yarn, it is 650 meters of Falkland Merino and Corriedale. So it has this beautiful, it's just, it's soft. It's very soft. It's very bouncy, I guess is the right way. It has a lot of like, it's just squishy. Squishy is the right word. Very squish. And yeah, so I'm reknitting this. I'm about to separate for the sleeves. So I've done the actual yoke design of it. It's going to block out and it's going to grow just a little bit. I kind of look like an Elizabethan, like Shakespeare, but not. Anyway. So it's going really well. I love the color. I kind of want to knit it in another color, maybe another blue like this. I have the same yarn, but in blue, so I might do it again if this turns out really well. Or maybe even a dark green. That would look stunning. So it's going really well. There are a few things while reknitting this that I'm revisiting while reknitting this. And one of them, when you're thinking about this pattern, is the detail of these V's. If you can see these V's, the detail of it, you know, I think I did it just fine, like here and here. But when you do the final decrease, let's say right here, there's this little hole that kind of pops up. You can kind of see them. I don't mind it. I don't care. I think you can just tweak it, just like if you wanted to do a different kind of decrease. I would check out like Patty Lyon's book to see if there's another decrease that might not, like a center decrease for that little stitch pattern that might not, you know, have that hole. But that's something I experienced. I'm sure Woollen Pine has put out a video with their pattern on how to fix that. I'm pretty sure it's just maybe tightening up the yarn a little bit when you knit, but I don't care. So I just remember that that's happening while I'm knitting it. I thought, crap, it's happening again. I remember this. So what I plan to do with this particular knit is I'm going to still keep the short sleeve. I do like the short sleeve. And I'm still going to make it cropped, but this one is just like a little too cropped. It's right under the bust, which, I mean, I do like it, but if I want to wear this with pants, I can't. So I'm just going to go a little bit lower. I still want it cropped. I kind of want it where my waist just naturally comes in. So I have some high-rise pants that it would look really good with. So there's that. That's what I'm working on right now, and it knits up really fast. So if you're looking for a spring design to work on when the weather gets warm like mine is right now, I would highly recommend the Spring Sorrel. It's Wool and Pine Designs, and they have a lot of help with this pattern. There's videos about the fit. It's a gorgeous pattern, and they did a really good job designing it, putting a lot of thought into the actual process to help you make it yourself. So 10 out of 10. Yeah. So I've just been doing that. I feel like I'm going to finish it probably by the end of the week. It's going by really fast. And it's short sleeves and cropped, so I probably have maybe, 10 more inches of stitch to go. I will say one more thing about this pattern. If you're uncomfortable with a purl stitch and you feel like maybe it's not as fun as a knit stitch, this is a really good pattern to practice your purl stitch and make your purl stitch a little more efficient and go faster. That is one thing that I learned with this pattern, and I remember this. I wasn't comfortable with the purl stitch. I love the knit stitch. It just went by really fast. I'm a continental knitter, so that means I hold my yarn in one hand and I don't throw, I just flick. So the yarn is feeding through one hand, and so there's very little movement. The purl stitch was kind of hurting like my fingers, so I couldn't really figure out what the right purl stitch was for me to do, and this helped me figure it out. So there's that. And it made me less afraid, and I'm okay with doing purl stitch, and who cares? So that's another thought. And I do want to share some yarns that I'm going to be using while it's warmer here. I did try to knit with some heavy wool earlier this week just to get a swatch, and it was just like my hands are sweaty now. Like, it's no longer cold, so that's okay. It's okay. Makes me sad though. I feel like winter didn't last very long for us, but it always feels like this. But spring is here, and I wanted to share an acquisition that I had last year. It was during a sale at a local yarn shop of mine, and it's La Bien-Aimée silk tweed in it's 100% silk noil, I think is how you say it, Noil, in the color Nebula. And I just bought one skein of this, and I kind of want to do an accessory. I love this, the way it looks. It looks kind of like a starry night. Freaking yarns, man. Yarns are so cool. I just love that they all come in different, like, not shapes, but like textures, and it's a silk, but it's like a little, it feels very, what's the word, like substantial? It's like, it's not scratchy. It's not, it's just like, it's a different kind of, it's not wool, duh. Anyway, I kind of want to do some sort of accessory, maybe a bandana. I only have one skein of this, so it's going to be a project that is less than 273 yards or 250 meters. So I'm excited to knit with this. But what I'm super excited about is I got another color of my favorite cotton merino, lightweight, very breathable yarn by Knitting for Olive, and I got it in navy. I have, again, I have this color, which is their lime yellow, which I do plan on knitting with, but I also got this beautiful navy, which feels more like I can wear it to work than this. I mean, I will still wear this to work, who cares, but I just love both of them. But the navy feels like it's calling to me at this moment. Maybe it's my mourning that winter is over. So moving on, I do want to share kind of what I'm thinking about knitting next. I'm trying to just not, I'm re-knitting a lot of things, but what would be a new pattern that I would really, really like to have in my wardrobe? And one of I got this book for Christmas, and it was from my company that I work with, and it's called it's the Knitting for Olive book, and it's a beautiful book. I loved learning so much about their brand, and also the vision that they have for the company, their sustainability efforts, how they grew the company, the colors, how they come, to decide on colors, their social responsibility. They're just a very well-rounded, thoughtful company. And they really care about animal welfare. And it was just like this beautiful storytelling of this company and how they came to be and all their efforts that they're putting moving forward. And then there's beautiful patterns after this. And one of the patterns that I do want to try to knit, because it looks like a challenge, but it also looks extremely stunning, is this one. It is a beautiful negative ease pattern, and with a gorgeous lace repeat with a set-in sleeve. All these things that I have not particularly done in a full-bodied sweater just yet. So I always try to challenge myself to try to be outside the box. It has this beautiful back detail to it. And I think it's stunning. Stunning. I would love to have this in my wardrobe. I wonder if it would make sense, though, for me to do this in cotton merino. I feel like a merino would hold the shape of the stitches a bit more. I don't know if the cotton merino will make it feel a little too flowy. I did do a negative ease pattern, which you've seen. I forget what it's called, but it's a tee, but I made it into a long sleeve, and I love that. It's just with negative ease, like that cotton merino can stretch and it can start to sag a little bit, is what I'm learning. I want to try. Because it's such a lightweight yarn, and I feel like it would be great for the summer. If anything, I learn a lesson and then I just knit it all over again. So maybe it'll be a part of my knit it again project that I'm exploring right now. And then, those are the patterns that I'm looking at. The pattern that I'm looking at. If you have a spring pattern that you love, I'd love it if you share it down in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys are knitting this spring or what you plan for your summer knits. Knitting in the summer, I started knitting for summer, like a summer wardrobe last year, or 2 years ago. And it's actually great. I love having pieces to wear throughout the year. So I'm just curious what you guys would love, what patterns you love. What do you have good experience with? What patterns, like what yarns work really well for you, and so that we can all just learn from each other. So I do want to share some inspiration. I'm a very creative person. I'm an artist. I love sharing my work. I hope to talk about it more here as we continue throughout the year, and vlogging and showing you more of Austin and the place that I live that I love so much. And one vlogger on YouTube that I love so much is Chris Atomic. I found her on YouTube over the fall, and she is in the UK, and she lives with her partner on a narrowboat. And I joined her Patreon and just started, she loves to read. She's also an artist, and she loves crafting. She knits. She's a photographer, and all of the fun things that I love. She just seems like a big, wonderful adventure, a different life from mine completely, sort of, in the sense that she lives on the water and I live on land. But she's so cool, and I joined her Patreon. Super inspiring, and she has been going over book reviews, and I've been listening to audiobooks. I listen while I knit, and also while I drive in traffic to and from work every day. And one of the books that I recently read, if you're interested, is Miranda July's All Fours. So it's about a premenopausal woman who is discovering that that's happening to her, and also just discovering things just about herself. It is very sexual. It is slightly grotesque, but in a good way. I love Miranda July. It's very like a raw human experience. Things that people think about, but they don't ever say out loud, is the way I would describe Miranda July's books. And I've always been a fan of her since college. So I just listened to that based on Chris Atomic's recommendation. Nobody talks about menopause enough, which I feel like is a spoiler for that book, but any description that you read, it talks about it, so it kind of ruins the book for you. So I may have ruined that for you, but there's so much more in that book that I haven't ruined for you. So take a listen if you're interested. It's very sexual again, so if you are not going to clutch your pearls, I would definitely recommend. But that inspired me to share stuff that I read, and I find inspiration from. I'm a stained glass artist. I hope to bring more stained glass to you all and eventually sell some, so you can have in your homes and enjoy. I'm looking at mine right now. Whenever you see me look this way, I'm looking at the window at my stained glass work, which I'll show you at the end of the video. And anyway, I look to books for inspiration, short stories specifically, and any kind of artist talking about their work and what inspires them is what also inspires me. So I've been reading The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. I don't know a lot about Rick Rubin. All I know is that he is a very, very hairy man, and that artists, musicians take him, to the studio when they're making their albums. He could be a music producer for all I know, but I haven't really looked into it. But I've seen interviews where people just sit with him and they talk, and he just rambles on about creativity, being around artists and their creative mindset and what gets them through things. And also, like, the world is just a ball flying around in space kind of thing. Like, there's no limitations to what you can do. Everything is achievable. Everything, the world is at your fingertips if you want it, that kind of mindset. And I love leaning into that. So it's just a book of, like, his thoughts, things that come across his mind. It could be something as small as, like, a tiny, just, like, 3-liner. It seems like a journal of some sort. And he talks about just the artist's experience. Like, for example, he wrote, "Art is choosing to do something skillfully, caring about the details, bringing all of yourself to make the finest work you can. It is beyond ego, vanity, self-glorification, and need for approval," which I would 10/10 agree. I feel like my knitting is also art. I do it because it makes me happy. I love the process. It's a flow state for me. I meditate when I do it. I just get into the groove and the noise turns off. I put on headphones and it's just like I'm in my own little space creating my own art, and I get to wear it, and that's badass. The same thing with my stained glass. Like, I don't share it very often, but I don't care that it might have turned out a little funky here and there, because it still is freaking gorgeous. And like, the whole process is it's something that I made with my hands, and there it is. And it's just, there's so many things throughout the creative process. There's struggles, there's mistakes, there's crying, could be, there's pain, specifically with stained glass. I could cut my hand at any moment. You could, like, break a piece of glass, and if you're not wearing the protective eye materials, a piece of glass could go in your eye. Like, it's extremely dangerous. You work with lead, like, there's just so many things, but I've always admired it. And I don't know, this book is like a true, just like, if I'm stuck, I just read a line or two or a page or two, and it just clears my head. Like, yeah, this is like whatever I'm thinking that's pulling me back from completing the task or making a mistake. Like, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, so just do the fucking thing. That's the Aries in me talking as well. So anyway, that's truly it. I wanted to keep this short. My videos tend to be like 45 minutes long, but we're going to keep it short today, I think. So more videos to come, more inspiration to come. If there's anything that you want to see, please let me know. If there's something that you want me to talk about, whether it's like talking more about stained glass or more about my studio or seeing more about what I do on a daily basis or more about Austin. I plan on showing you all my favorite places. Just let me know. I want to show you. But I'm interested in making things for you all. You're my people. So let me know in the comments. And also, please do, if you like this video, I know everybody says this, but like and subscribe if you can. I would love for you to join this community, and you can get alerts whenever I make a video. I would love to just chat with you and sit with you and chat with you. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So thanks for joining me on this week's journey, and I look forward to just talking more with you soon. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, bye.